Hello everyone. Today, being a person of biology, I want to talk about some aspects of biology. So, welcome to the channel which is actually unfolding mysteries for better understanding. Where in the world of biology. So, we are going to talk about, as the name is suggesting, biology. And being a person of biology, just I thought to take up the chapter which is for class 9th, diversity in living organism. The topic which we will cover in this video is definition of biodiversity, classification, defining classification, importance and need of classification, and classification, the relationship between classification and evolution. We will talk about all these aspects in this video. This entire video has been planned with certain goal, certain learning outcome, and that is, it has been thought and it has been planned that by the end of the topic, students will be able to know the term biodiversity and classification. They will understand the need and importance of the classification. Basis of classification will be known to them. Hierarchy in biological classification will be clear to them. They will be able to correlate the concept with some experience. Means here in this video, we will try to have some experiential learning. So let's begin our tour. The tour, actually we are starting with 3 students of class 9th. They are a bit worried. They are worried regarding a chapter which is called diversity in living organisms, which is appearing to be too lengthy for them. So this chapter is coming with a big question mark to them, and so they are troubled what to do with it. Then they have decided to they are just go through the chapters. They have gone through the chapters, but still the mysteries are there, the questions are there. So then they approached their elder sister. She agreed to extend her helping hand. She told that she is ready to work upon this chapter with them, but in fractions. It is not like that the entire chapter will be done at once. She is ready to talk to them, but they have to keep patience and they have to just talk one by one, each topic one by one. So that has been decided. Now she has explained, first of all, as we are going to talk about diversity in living organisms, so first we must know the term biodiversity. The term biodiversity is made up of 2 words. Bio means living organism and diversity, a condition of having different forms. So if we will bring both the words together, means biodiversity deals with variability in living organism, various forms in living organism. For information, you must know that the term was given by Walter G. Roses in 1986. Biodiversity term was given by Walter G. Roses in 1986. So the chapter began. So the students told to their elder sister, okay, so this chapter talks about different forms of life. So what a big deal. We all know different forms of life. Then the teacher or the elder sister has thrown a challenge in front of them. She asked, okay, fine. So bring all the forms of life on paper. The student agreed for that and they are ready with their pen, pencil, brush, color, and started creating diverse form of life on paper. So students, you also take this challenge and bring all forms of life, different forms, whatever you are knowing, on the paper. Now the first drawing which came up was that of a jungle, showing varieties of plants and animals, lions, giraffe, zebra, monkey, snake, owl, bear, different types of plants are there. But they are not enough. We have more. Yeah, we have more. The life in water. Now here you can see in water different kinds of different kinds of fishes, corals, and so many creatures. But still, it is lacking. Yeah. Then the next drawing came up with some plants, interesting plants in the water. But is it enough? No, we have more forms. The third has shown, I have seen in the third person shown one diagram and told this I have seen in uh, the TV channels. Now see, these are the small organisms in on which float upon water. So now see how interesting it is. Then the sister came, and have you seen these? These are microorganisms which are present around us, but we can't see them. But they are also living organisms. Oh, different. How many types of living organisms? Yeah, see, these are some from mountains and from desert. They are quite difference is there. They are closely resembling as well as they are different. Oh, what a mystery. How many forms? How to know them? Then the sister told, but that is not the limit. Here, about around 8.7 million types of life forms are present on Earth. This is our current data. 8.7 millions. In typing, million has been left. But it is 8.7 million types of life forms are present on Earth. Oh, the students told. Then there are the questions, no? How our scientists gathered information about such a vast number of organisms? And nowadays we are able to predict the behavior and nature of each and every organism found on earth so precisely. What made it possible? These are the questions which was in front of the students. The answer lies in systematics. Sister answer. What is systematics? Okay, it is a branch of science which deals with classification, naming of organisms, and evolutionary pattern amongst organisms. Oh, so what are these branches? Classification, naming. Do have this system, and what are these? How it is being done? Okay, fine. We will talk about each one by one. So let's start talking about classification. But before that, look at these two pictures. This is a picture of supermarket and another one is grocery shop. Just tell me, whenever you visit supermarket to search anything, do you face any problem? Or whenever you ask for any items from a grocery shop which has so many things, do shopkeeper face any problem? The shopkeepers immediately gives the goods to you without much searching, although he has variety of items. So how is it possible? I know you people will give answer that the things in these shops are being systematically arranged. What is the systematic arrangement of these things? This is actually classification. So here what is done, the things are being categorized or grouped on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarity. And this process is known as classification. And means the things are objects, organisms, or things are being categorized on the base of their characteristics. And the characteristics are being chosen as per need and more clarity. Now you can ask, then this is needed in grocery shop or to arrange anything. Why it is needed in living world? For living world, the process of classification is also very important. It is needed as it helps to understand the nature of wide variety of organisms, as well as wide variety of organisms can be studied with ease. When we classify, when we group them, we are knowing their characters, and on the basis of characters we are grouping them. Then it is very easy to know their behavior. With that, evolutionary relationship amongst organisms can be understood easily, which is needed for us to understand. And the proper placing of organisms also helps us to understand its its role in biosphere. That how much it is important, what role actually it is playing. This all things are being made possible after the process of classification. To understand it more, we should know what is the basis of classification, how we classify things. As we have done, I know you will answer that characters. The basis of classification is character. But the question arises, how to choose character for the process of classification, especially in living things. It may be apparent or visible characters. We can take apparent and visible characters. See, for example, as we go, again we are taking the example of supermarket. If we go in supermarket, what we think? See, the things are arranged systematically. Hence, one type of item is kept in one section. As in picture we can see that there is bigger section where variety of things are being kept, and there is a specific section which is kept for dal, and various types of dals are being kept, and they are also being further classified on the basis of nature of each dal. As you can see in the picture, the red dal is kept together, the yellow is another, the whole moong dal is kept at one place, while the brown one is another place. So like this, they have been categorized, they have been arranged so that no one can face problem in picking up the required item. So that is the basis of classification, and on that basis only, for the first time, the whole living system has been classified by Aristotle. Aristotle has taken apparent characters and he has grouped the entire living system into two groups. One group he made of non-motiles, means those who can't move, in which he kept plants, and another he made that of motiles, in which he kept animals. Motiles means those who can move. Then he further classified plants on the basis of their size: small size, medium size, large size, like herbs, shrubs, and trees. And animals were further classified on the basis of their habitat, living in air, living in water, living on land. And then in animal also he has seen the morphology, means shape, size, structure, and then red-blooded and non-blooded. But this classification has been put forward, but as we have studied more, we have came to know more details of the organism, but we have seen that this classification is faulty, as many organisms which live in water may have same characters as that of land, animals living on land. Similarly, small size plants may have same characters as like big plants. So these problems came with the Aristotle's classification system, and the scientists started further working upon that. Now for further working upon that, it has been thought that first of all we have to fix the criteria on the basis of which classification will be done. So the work upon selecting criteria for identifying characteristic, making the basic characteristic has been started, and for that also let's understand by these examples. Here are two pictures. One is that of mall and another one is of a particular shop. Now see, when we visit mall is a place where varieties of shops are there. Now we go and we decide for where to go, what we need. Suppose we need eatables. So we will go to the section where all shops which have eatables are placed. So first of all we will decide what basic thing we require, what is our fundamental requirement, and on the basis of that we will start searching the things. Once we will find the eatable shops, then inside that we will go and then we will see that actually we are needing grains, pulses, or we are needing vegetables, fruits, and then accordingly again there are sections, further sections in which we will go to find out our things with ease. So basically by this we can say that first of all we have to see the fundamental character on the basis of which other characters can be further searched on or can be built upon. So the same thing scientists have done. First of all they have thought of or they have searched of fundamental characters of living organisms. So the fundamental characters which they have thought of are nature of cell. Nature of cell means they are prokaryotic or eukaryotic. You all might be knowing that prokaryotic are the cells which lack true nucleus, means membrane bound nucleus, and eukaryotes are the cells which have true nucleus and cell membrane bound cell organelles. After that we will see the organization of the body, means they are unicellular or multicellular. There are several organisms which are unicellular and there are many which are multicellular. So the second thing we will see, the second fundamental characteristic was considered, they are unicellular or multicellular. Then the third one which was taken, that is mode of nutrition, means they are autotrophs or heterotrophs. Autotrophs means those who can synthesize their own foods, means those who can photosynthesize, or those who are chemoautotrophs. And heterotrophs are those which depend for their food on another organisms, as we all animals. And one more thing was considered, that is level of body organization. So what is the level? It is cellular level, tissue level, organ system levels. So these things are being considered as fundamental characters to classify living organisms. Once when the fundamental characters were decided, after that it has been done that in how many sections or how many categories further classification will be done. On the basis of fundamental characters, the whole living organisms have been kept into the biggest part, that is kingdom. The kingdom was further divided into phylum, smaller unit than inside phylum there were classes, inside classes there were orders, then families, then genus, then species. Slowly you will see, then you will find out. This means species is the smallest unit and kingdom is the broadest or largest unit of classification. Now, first of all, the whole entire living world has been divided into kingdoms, and there were 5 kingdoms. Whittaker, after studying these fundamental characters, Whittaker proposed a system of classification in which he proposed 5 kingdoms. The kingdoms are Monera, Protista, plant, animals, and fungi. One by one, we can talk about Monera. Kingdom Monera includes all prokaryotes, means they are unicelled which lack true nucleus. They are absorptive, they absorb their food, or they can photosynthesize also. They show movement, many of them show movement with the help of flagella. Reproduction is simple, that is asexual. In this kingdom, most of the bacteria, cyanobacteria belong. The next kingdom was Protista. Protista is that of all protozoans, you can say, means this is the kingdom of unicellular eukaryotes. So its cell structure is they are unicell and eukaryotic. Nutrition again absorptive and photosynthetic. Here also they are showing movement with the help of flagella as well as cilia. Reproduction, they are showing both types, sexual as well as asexual, but of simple type. In which mainly phytoplanktons, zooplanktons are coming under this group. The third kingdom is fungi. They are multicellular and eukaryotic, and they have eukaryotic cell, but its cell wall is chitinous. They are heterotrophs. Absorptive also, in heterotrophs also they are saprophytic. Movement, they are mostly non-motile. Reproduction, both asexual and sexual. In this category we put yeast, bread molds, mushrooms. These all are kept under fungi. Then the large kingdoms are plants and animals. Plants, we know they are eukaryotes, and its body is multicellular. In plants, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. These are autotrophs. Most of them are non-motile. Reproduction both asexual and sexual type. In these groups, algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, angiosperms are being kept. That we will talk later. Animalia, here we will see that here they are eukaryotes, multicellular, but their cell is without cell wall. If you will see the nutrition, they are heterotrophs. Movement is they are motile. Reproduction both sexual as well as asexual. Animals, we know all animals comes under sponges, vertebrates, invertebrates, all come under these groups. So this is 5 kingdom classification proposed by Whittaker, and further each kingdom has been further grouped into phylum, order, family, genus and species. So this is how classification continues. Before closing the topic classification, let's see the relationship between classification and evolution. Evolution, we know that gradual change in characters of living organisms result in formation of new species over time is called evolution. And as we all know, that theory of evolution was proposed by Charles Darwin. This theory suggests that most of the primitive organisms have simple and primitive body organization. The complexity in structure and function in body organization is a result of gradual change over time, means complex organism came later. So here we can say that classification of life forms is closely related to evolution. It gives an idea of evolutionary pattern. So this is the relation between their close classification and evolution. To understand evolution classification must be known, and classification gives a clear picture of evolution. So this is the closing of chapter. Now we all are relaxed, I feel. But before closing, before saying bye bye, there is the time of assessment. So dear student, there is a link given over there, so you can either click or select, copy the link and paste on your browser, and then you will get a assessment sheet. So please do it. That will help you to check your knowledge or your understanding about the chapter. So bye bye, and thank you for watching this video.